The application process was kind of crazy. I didn't see the call for art until 4 days before it was due, before the deadline. And I didn't think anything much of it. I'm like, oh, this isn't, I'd never get that. And so I ignored it for a little bit. And 2 days went by and I just couldn't stop thinking about it. So I went back to my computer and I tried to articulate the vision that I had for the project. I didn't do anything about this application until 2 days prior. I turned it in and didn't think I'd hear anything back. And they called and I had a wonderful interview. And so I was really optimistic following that. I said, well, what if this actually happened? So I was very excited at that point. I know that they had at least a dozen applicants and did a number of interviews, but I just had to kind of wait and see what happened. And when they called or emailed and said congratulations, I was so excited.
You had to articulate the vision you have for this project in your application.
Mm-hmm.
What does that vision entail?
Well, the goal of the project was to try and show the visitors to the park, like I said, the people that used to live and work in these different buildings and structures around the park. And so they used the word repopulate, that they want sculpture of people to sort of help visitors understand. I've been selected to do one site, and on that site there will probably be 4 people. There will be some historic miners involved. It's also the building that I'll be working on is part of that boundary between the domestic home life for the miners and their families and, the job, the daily work, so there's going to also probably be maybe a woman and children in there waiting for their miner to come home. And when we're talking about mining in the early 1900s, it was a lot different than mining today. So many different safety factors, and just you find amazingly interesting and sometimes tragic tales of these families.
So tell us what else you have on the horizon. Any other local art projects that you have?
Not public scale here in Wenatchee this summer, but I'm always working and always creating. And so my project over the winter was to complete a collection of small watercolors and hopefully turn them into maybe some trickle income projects, so that between public art and the work that I'm already doing, I might be closer to making ends meet in just the art field. But what I accomplished was making 54 individual illustrations of things to do in the Wenatchee Valley, and I turned them into a deck of playing cards. And so there are 50 different opportunities or things that everyone here should do and see. As a visitor, as someone who lives in the community, maybe there's something here that you've never done before. Just yesterday, I got my first opportunity to ride the Leavenworth coaster. So, making sure everyone's visited Omi Gardens or biked the foothills or learned the name of a wildflower, it's all in here. And I'm going to be at the night market on the Avenue next weekend. And so that's kind of the first public facing sales that I'll be doing for that. I'm wholesaling them in a couple of different locations, and so it'll be really fun to see Wenatchee folks face to face. And